Everybody quiet down, please. Quiet down. Shut up about Sure. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a brief Q&A for anyone who has any questions, any fellow filmmakers in the crowd, and stop touching my butt. And we're going to have a bit of a discussion about the film. First, I want to introduce some people I didn't before. This is Jessica Davies, the producer. This is Justin Valdez, my favorite human being in the world. This is Chris Wallace. He looks ridiculous. He played one of the Nazis.
You can see the back of his head on the helmet. That's it.
This is Matt Martucci, another Nazi. This is Frank West, who played Tommy Key. Two people I want to pay respect to. One is Zenon. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name.
Zenon Zelenic.
Zelenic, sure. He played the main Nazi, and he is terrifying, and I love him. He couldn't make it out tonight, but everyone give him a round of applause. And I'm sorry for blocking anybody, by the way. Last person I wanted to thank is Brad Fry. He's not here tonight, but he was the composer. He was the music, the key behind Major Key. He was fantastic. Love with all my heart. Great. I don't know. You know what? He's actually in LA. He's doing some professional stuff. You know.
He's with the Hollywood Symphony Orchestra, working on something about AI, artificial intelligence. It's really cool.
Yeah, he's being an actual composer. Okay, so we're gonna have a Q&A. You guys raise your hands, tell me your name, the question, and who it's for, and I'll reiterate it, and hopefully someone will have an answer. All right, any questions? Yes. What's your name?
Paige.
And what's your question?
It's for Sabrina. Did you actually have to learn how to play the piano?
No. I didn't know.
That was me. That was my fingers.
That was him. Look at him go. Yeah, no, I do not know how to do that. Look at him. Look at some delicate fingers. You have some delicate fingers, Matthew.
Yes?
My name's also Paige. This is for anyone. How did the idea for the film come about?
It's a long story. I'll make it short. Ever since I was 11 years old, I was obsessed with World War II because I was watching Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers and The Pacific and all these World War II films. But I wanted to create a film that was less generic in the sense of here's the battle, here's your characters, and they're dead. I wanted to find some kind of element that everybody could relate to. So the idea was basically to match music with our characters because in the world, no matter what country you're in, no matter what language you speak, music is the universal connection. We all relate to music in some way, and hopefully you got the message through the film that, you know, she and I were building this relationship over a love for jazz music. So the idea was really rooted in needing to make a story about World War II, but basing it on something specific.
Okay. Can I answer your question? Okay. Any other questions?
Robbie.
You over here?
No.
Sorry, I'll get back to you.
Hey guys, I'm Robert. This is a question for Mike and Matt. I was just, from a technical perspective, wondering what sort of resources you guys had going into this shoot.
Okay, the question was, what kind of resources did we have going into this shoot for myself and Mike? You want to go ahead and...
Do I?
You want to take
Yeah, so resources in what way? Equipment-wise or?
All of it, getting your cast, getting your crew together, getting the equipment together,
That's
everything that went into it.
Good question. All right.
The equipment is all ours. Like the camera, the sound, I actually, because Richmond City Media, who's here today, they helped us out a lot with lighting and stuff. But most of the equipment is just ours. We just have it. We bought it. And then in terms of the cast and everything, you held auditions. We both did.
Yeah.
And we're just very fortunate to find all of these perfect people.
Yeah, some of these people I've worked with in the past before. Actually, a lot of you I have, and I know you from the islands, and there are ones that submitted. I put the posting on Backstage.com to get as many as many followers towards it as I can get, and I think I ended up with like 1,286, something like that. And the people that I called back to send video auditions or to come into the room were the ones that were cast because there was some element there that I needed seeing them in person. As for the rest of it, getting the script together, I came up with the idea last February, and I joined an online class with, he's a big YouTuber named Dom Farah. I don't know if anybody knows him, but he was a consultant on the script. So we were sending drafts back and forth to each other about, what to do with it, how many pages, yada, yada. Because the original script, I think I had 86 pages or something, and it was going to be a feature. So we had to trickle down a little bit. As for the house, we found it on actually, Jessica found it on Airbnb. That beautiful, beautiful home. The owner's granddaughter is here, too. She's right there. So without them, this house would not exist for us. I was going off on a tangent, Robbie. I'm sorry, but I hope that answers your question.
Okay, I promised this woman a question. Do you still have your question?
How did you feel during your scenes when they were being shot?
Well, in what aspect?
Like, did you feel like the characters were you for the moments of the scene? Or were you, like, still you but just acting?
That's a good question. Let me go down the line. Let me pass it to them and we can get to me.
Oh, damn it.
My cast is responsible for what it is.
So there's one thing that I definitely want to point out. Everything that you saw on screen was just as generic off screen. You didn't watch us acting. That's how we were. We were so close. We were so bonded with each other. It was so easy to come together with these guys right here because we were living in that house that whole week. So we slept together, we ate together, we were in that house the entire week, and it was just easy to bring that camaraderie to the screen.
Even when we weren't filming, we called Jim Walsh Sarge. So like we were just always in, not me, but they were always in character.
Who are you?
So I'm a nervous wreck. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a thing. We're nervous wrecks. So no, so it was TJ had a lot of anxiety throughout the entirety of the film, and it did bring me a little bit closer to him. Like I definitely had more familiarity with this person than, let's say, if I was to be Spam-A-Lot, some guy in Spam-A-Lot, you know what I mean? And those are guys who wear like little helmets and they march around doing ridiculous stuff. So in other words, you know what I mean? Like me personally, yeah, I was closer to TJ.
I'm also a nervous wreck.
We can all
Yeah, just nervous wreck. No, but I was actually so nervous. I was more nervous for the like interviews and stuff than I was for the actual scenes because I don't like to be myself. Like right now, I'm panicking. So like, no, like for interviews and everything. Like I remember, like I had to have everybody go inside and then not listen to me do my interview. So that was kind of terrifying. But like actually doing the scenes, I felt kind of calm because everyone there was being professional and everything. So nervous wreck.
I didn't act in the film, but watching it from a crew perspective, it was just heartbreaking because I'm watching this unfold and I'm like, this is going to look amazing. And it was just, this was my first film ever involved in, and it truly changed my life. And I'm so happy you guys are here, and it was just a beautiful experience. Justin.
I too didn't act. But crew, we don't matter. But I'm in the back holding the mic, and I'm just waiting for them to act. Like, is this like, are you guys
I
ready
love
to act?
Justin
And like,
so much.
Justin, we already did it. This is us. I'm like, oh. This is not expected, but good job, guys. Thank you, Justin.
Well, I had basically 3 things that I had to do in the course of the film. The first was to be parentally towards Sabrina, and that was easy to do because she was lovely. And we also got to meet her brothers and her dad who came on set, and I got to see her with her own father, and it was very easy to act with her. She's just lovely. The second thing I had to do was not understand a word that anybody was saying, and I'm much older than everybody else in the cast, and I had no idea what they were talking about most of the time. And then the third thing I had to do was be terrified when somebody was speaking German to me, and I had to speak German back, and it was genuinely terrifying because the only time I've spoken German is at Killmeyer's ordering bratwurst. I had no idea what I was saying, so I was quite genuinely terrified. So that was my task.
Jim needs some major props because he doesn't speak German. That was at the end. That was just he just memorized it. Oh, Charles! I'm so sorry. It's Charles. I said Jim. No.
Well, like Matt had said earlier, we grew so comfortable with each other, and we developed such a camaraderie during the course of our shoot that we were really feeling the characters that we were in. And when we were shooting all those death scenes, it was sad not only because the characters are dead, but it also, it was like nearing the end of our shoot, and it's, all good things come to an end. So that was like, kind of disappointing for me. But, I had so much fun on this film, and it's one of the best experiences I ever had. And I'm glad I got to do it.
Okay, so I play a villain in the film, and I feel like in order to be really into your character, you should probably set the mood for yourself. So I like to sleep a lot. So when I get woken up really early, I feel aggravated.
Early.
So
Early.
Can we tell the story?
We had you in the
So-
afternoon at bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
All the cores were gone.
But no, I think in order to be a good actor, I'm not saying I'm a good actor, but I'm saying in order to be a good actor, I kind of feel like you have to set the mood for yourself. So if you are feeling happy, you should probably put yourself in a happy mood. If you feel sad, you put yourself in a sad mood. And I think everyone here did an amazing job because they set a perfect mood for their characters because they did exactly what they did in the film, ricocheting to what they were doing at the house.
I played the other Nazi, as you saw on screen. It was a blast watching each one of these actors right here work their magic and bond, and me being on the villainous side. The real me felt heartbroken, but the German me really just took it.
It was really awful.
I swear, don't get me started again.
I showed up to Mike's house one day. He tied a belt around my neck and told me it was a tie. I shaved my beard and put on a silly hat.
Like Mike McGarry said, and of course like Brett said, being in that house that Jess found was definitely part of the magic of this movie. We did bond, but just to correct one thing, we all did sleep together, but not in the same bed, right, Mike? All right. Yeah, okay, I'm just letting you know, so make sure that we get that cleared up right away. However, the magic of the house, along with the brilliant direction of Michael and the writing, and really a credit to him for casting everyone in this cast. Everyone brought a little bit of magic to it, and more importantly, we all got along beautifully. And that was part of why this movie worked so beautifully, because everybody was genuinely happy to see one another. We motivated each other. I remember that one day they were all calling me Sarge for my big moment in the movie, and they were really getting on my nerves, really trying to really get me to really get more and more angry, which really worked. Plus, the Mets had lost 4 in a row, which also didn't help matters. So and of course, having to check my phone where the service was awful to begin with. And then having to say I think they blew like a 5-run lead that day, and I was really, really, really pissed off. It was not, I got something for the Mets.
Still can't let it go.
Can't let it go. I'm still very angry about that. So with the combination of the cast and crew and the house and just the wonderful script and direction of our leader here, Michael Robert Anderson, that's what made this movie magical, and I credit the cast and the crew for all that. Thank you.
That question was asked about 20 minutes ago. I forgot it. How do we relate to our characters on set? Is that, yeah, okay. So writing the characters. Huh? No, it was tough to get into the acting aspect of it because I was trying to, change hats every day, whether it was to direct or, pitching lights and setting up the sound. And, we all worked as a team. But for me, I tried to just take a couple hours to step back. I think there was one day when I handed it over to Matt and I said, I need to just go upstairs for a couple hours and work on this. And actually, that's the night that we filmed the scene between Sabrina and I, which is one of my favorites. Yeah, just, I don't know. I come from Meisner Technique in my college, and it's very emotional. And yeah, the approach is just feeling everything around you. And I couldn't help but feel everything around me because I was trying to run a set in a farmhouse that had no Wi-Fi. So
That turned out to be a great question. Got some heart out of it.
let's get like 3 more, but I'd like to go in the back.
Okay, yeah. Is there anyone? We reached that. Everyone here. Is there anyone in the back who has a
Yeah,
question?
there's one on the end that had his hand up.
Gentleman right there.
Who's that? That's my dad.
Sorry. Go ahead, Bud. Question, Buddy Anderson.
First, I just want to say how proud I am. Great job.
Thanks, Don.
He was talented, but he really put it through the roof. And one kudos to the whole cast. You guys
Thank you, Dave.
did a fantastic job. In my lifetime, I've seen a lot of different casts and crews over the years, and I gotta tell you, professional, 100%. Question for you, Sarge.
Oh, shoot.
Do you find it extremely difficult being like so tough on the exterior, working with all these guys? I mean, would you find that a real challenge?
Yeah, the question was to Jim, how does he, was it a challenge to be so tough on everybody? I got it, the camera doesn't know, okay?
In real life, absolutely. But the one thing that I try to always do when I'm doing any type of performance, or if I'm lucky enough to be in a film like this, is I just try to actually think if I really hate these people. Absolutely. Yeah, oh, the Met thing absolutely helps, of course, because I'm unfortunately a Mets and Jets fan, so either way I'm screwed. Although they did win last week, the Jets, which is a good thing. However, yeah, in general, I think anytime you take on any type of character, I think it's just important to really just kind of get into the depths of what it would have been like to be in that situation, even though I have no idea what it could have possibly have been. And of course, even though I love these people here, you have to just find that moment where you're in this house, the Germans are outside, they're not taking it seriously, and that's really what pretty much motivated us. Thank you. Thanks for the question.
Gentleman over there has a question.
I too want to congratulate everybody for doing a great job. The camaraderie comes across, and it's going to help you for your futures in the film industry. I just want to say, as a member of the audience, I think they could agree with me that I was captured right away. I wanted to know what was going to happen to these people, what was going to happen next. I was riveted by it. My question is, what's your next step with the film? Are you going to shop it around? You're looking for funding? You're going to go to the film festivals? Or what exactly is your plan? Good luck.
So the question was, what's the next step for Major Key? That's a very good question. I've been submitting to festivals thus far. You know, we don't get the notifications until early 2018. But like I said earlier, I wrote a feature. Let's make a feature, you know? Like, I want to make this, I want to make a movie. So yeah, that's the next step for that. You want to point to one?
Okay, so we have time for,
One
well-
question about the movie.
Yeah. Question.
That last scene, right?
Yeah.
Did all your characters in death, did they find peace?
That's a great question.
I'm glad you said. Yeah, because no, maybe no. I wanted that scene to show a moment of, you know, regardless of what happened to them, it's war, it's tragedy, but they're together, they're at peace. You know, maybe he finds his brother. You know,
Or maybe he lived.
and went home.
He never came back.
Maybe he learned the power of music in a Nakanawa death camp.
Kevin,
so one last question?
we can do a couple more.
Two more.
Yeah.
Two more questions.
Kevin?
Make them count.
How, or in the future, are you going to be making more films like this, and how can you audition for Purple Cloud?
The question was, are we making more films like this, and how can you audition for Purple Cloud?
Go ahead.
Well, yes, we are making more films like this. We're always working on more stuff. You know, we have we're doing sketch comedy, we're doing feature films, we're doing short films like this, we're doing podcast. We're always doing something creative. We're always just making something, and we're always looking for more talented people. In fact, events like this are great because we can meet all of you, and we can meet more people to work with, and more people to make our dreams come true. And so, if we're ever going to do a big project like this, where we need all hands on deck and all the talented people we can find, you could like us on Facebook, Purple Cloud NY. We have an Instagram, Purple Cloud.
Purple Cloud Entertainment.
Purple Cloud Entertainment. We have a website you could check daily, purplecloudny.com. And we're all, yeah, we do, you believe it? And we're always posting about it. So if you, we usually hold auditions in Staten Island, but we're welcome to anywhere. You know, we're expanding, so.
We accept video auditions.
Yeah, just
It's a
always
film
look
company,
out
so
for us,
we'll
because
go down.
we're always doing something. Hope I
Somebody at
answered
the
your
back.
question.
Anybody in the back over there?
Back row, please.
I have a question for Sabrina. As an actress, who do you find more attractive, Steve Buscemi or Jim Walsh?
Okay. Question for Sabrina was.
That's not a fair question. She probably saw me in my underwear. That's not a fair
I'm not even going to reiterate that.
This has gone off the rails.
Yeah, really. I had a feeling.
Your response?
Jim Walsh.
Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. It's very nice.
We got to wrap it up soon.
Great
yes,
question,
right
by the
there. Let me,
Well, my question's for you, so now this is weird.
I mean, I was over there. It's less weird.
No, it's weird when you're closer, but okay. You had the love connection where people from literally two different worlds just made this strong connection within the matter of a few days. What did you base that off of, like something in your real life or just what you've seen music do to people?
Well, I firmly believe in love at first sight, and you can have one conversation and be set and know that you have this connection with somebody. But I base it on all elements of growing up. You know, I'll be 25 at the end of the month, and you know, it's you live your life, you love, you do what you do, you get by. So, yeah, it was based on reality. It was based on this story, this fictional story that I wanted to set with the war as a backdrop. So, thank you. It was a great question.
Was the plan always to just have everybody die at the end, or like when you wrote the longer version, was there going to be like a lone wolf who had to deal with all of that guilt, or was it always just we're going to all end in this bloodbath?
So the question was, were we all going to die at the end? Was that always the original plan when it came to the feature? I had written it that we did all in fact die at the end, but obviously as a short, I had to condense things. There were questions were answered in the feature as opposed to the brother, what would have happened to him. But yes, originally it was written that they do perish, but again, there's peace. So you want to point, or what do you want?
You want to do, what do you want?
Yes, right here.
What movie influenced you the most to get where you are today?
What movie influenced me the most to get where I am today as a filmmaker? Clerks. Kevin Smith is the reason I make movies. I'm dead serious. Regardless of the fact that he's comedy, he takes the stories of these 20-something-year-old East Coast lowlives who can't get by and turns it into something charming and perfect. And that is the dream, is just to work with Kevin Smith one day. So, thank you. Appreciate that. I want to just have one more question, and then we gotta wrap up, guys. Yes?
Did any of you have any struggles when you were filming?
Do we have struggles when we were filming? Go down the line. You want to hand that mic down?
Yeah. Okay. So, biggest problem I think we can all agree on is ticks. Many of you don't know Millville, New Jersey, because who does? But it's filled with ticks. So we're in the middle of nowhere, and there's barely any Wi-Fi. Ticks everywhere. We were filming outdoors one scene, and then I went in at night, and I just stepped in the shower, and like 9 ticks just fell right off me. Oh my God! So that was, I don't know. That was the biggest struggle for me.
I guess my biggest struggle was when we first got there and we checked out the house. The house is from the 1800s, so it seemed a little bit haunted to me. So I kind of had some trouble sleeping at night. Luckily, I had Sabrina and her family to tease me about that and call me Ghost Mike for the rest of the week. But
You're my phone is Ghost Mike.
figures. But other than that, yeah, I mean the ticks were the biggest issue. Yeah.
Okay, so I really can honestly say it was one of the best weeks spent in my life. One of the best weeks, and I could definitely say the best week filming in my life. With these people, it was a phenom. That being said, a phenom. That being said, I had this part where in a promotional shot where I was supposed to run really cray like, you know, so I'm building up speed, and then I trip and fall because I die. So in this promotion, I was falling in the center of where all the ticks should have been. Should have been. And thank God it only should have been. I picked a couple off my clothes every single run, but I literally have not been more scared of leukemia in my life.
Working with
Let's run it down.
In my defense, I was blonde till 15.
All right. All right. So I definitely had a couple struggles. Like on a more serious note. Stop. On a more serious note, the German accent was definitely, wow. Thank you. Because for my audition, it was terrible. And I actually went and got a dialect coach, Natalie Jones. Thank you, if she sees this. But like, yeah, I had to go do that, and it took me a while. I went through the scenes over and over and over again, and I was very nervous about it. And then, on a less serious note, the ghosts, like he was saying, nuh-uh.
I think the biggest struggle for me was getting there, because it's literally like I live in South Jersey, so it was like we went down like a haunted road to get there. My friend Katrina, who is also in the cast, in the crew, and she's amazing. We drove down together, and like we're like driving down this road forever, and I'm like, this is where people die. Like we're gonna die on this road somewhere. But other than that, I didn't have a problem with ticks. I might have been lucky, but I wasn't throwing in the dirt and anything like that. But no, this was a great experience, and I think living together is why this film is so magical, because we lived together for a week and we kind of like each other now a little bit, just a little bit.
Let's see. So
Ticks.
ticks were taken.
Ticks? Baby?
Yeah. Ghosts, haunted house.
Yeah.
But seriously, I think it was shooting. We were kind of shooting in a small space to get a feel of the 40s into this. Like we had the main cast, me and Matt, plus equipment.
There was like 15 people, in one house.
In one room.
Some kind of claustrophobic feeling to the fact that they're confined to this home.
Oh, we got
it.
But it all worked out, and now ticks again. And we had like huge bees and wasps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that
we
was
did
okay.
that.
Yeah.
That was what? Yeah.
Well, aside from having to try and learn the German, which was pretty terrifying, the two things that stick out for me were there was kind of a surreal moment. We were shooting on Easter Sunday, and Sabrina's brothers, in turn, came in a bunny outfit, and it was kind of surreal to be watching this World War II drama with a pink rabbit. Very odd. Then the only other thing for me was learning to play Words Against Humanity, which was new to me. Cards Against. That was scary, that game, and I'm still a little frightened of it.
So as you guys all saw in the film, my character is a heavy cigarette smoker, and we had bought packs upon packs of herbal cigarettes that burn quickly. And one of the challenges of smoking in films and TV shows is that you have to keep continuity with it. And since these things burn quickly, we had to get a new one all the time. And it wasn't healthy. And by the end of the shoot, I was sick of this. Somebody even had a full pack. It's like, you want to take them home? I'm like, no, throw them away. Please. And then like the battle scene, we only have a certain amount of daylight. That's something collectively, that is always a challenge on film set, whether you want to shoot in the day or the night, scheduling issues. There are so many variables when you get on a film set that you have to navigate around.
His ashtray was full like 4 times. Completely full.
Disgusting. It was.
So back to the ticks. I found ticks on my mattress, and I really like to sleep. So, other than that, it was all good.
What about your pizza?
I love
your
pizza.
cords that you allegedly drink.
Okay, we'll talk about that later.
Tick-free since '93. I think one of my biggest challenges was them dealing with me. I'm a smoker on and off, and smoking the herbal cigarettes was I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about that. But no, I didn't have one bad time there. It was a blast working with every one of you and bonding with you, and it was a pleasure. Thank you.
Tommy got to skip the Spooky Mansion adventure. So I don't know, maybe I had some kind of issue at home.
being the petite guy that I am, as you can tell, the biggest obstacle I had was the heat, because I love to sweat, as being a big guy that I am, as you know. The other problem I had was also the belt. The belt kept falling off because, obviously, I'm a real petite guy. And Mike had to keep putting the belt back on me. But the biggest thing was probably the tics, as we always go back to that, because 3 weeks after we wrapped on that film, I actually ended up in the hospital for about a week. Because what happened was I have a little bit of an accident from a prior injury, and I think what probably happened, I think I got maybe a couple of tick bites or something bit me, and I was in the hospital for a week with a leg infection. So yeah, it was pretty bad, but that's okay. I mean, it's all part of the art. I do it again in a second. Week in the hospital, no big deal.
Way to save the best for last.
Yeah, pretty nurses, sponge baths. It's not such a bad thing. So, who wouldn't want to wash this body, right? So it's all good. But otherwise, the experience was fantastic. I do it again in a second.
Ask questions. Follow us on social media, and yeah, we love you. Yeah. What
Can we hand the mic over to Michael Margeri for a second?
Michael Margeri wants to speak. Okay, guys. Yeah, just real quick because we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, I got it. So guys, before we all leave from here, and I know everyone's getting ready to go, I just one more time want to shout out Michael Robert Anderson. Again, watching this guy work, switching his hat in between scenes, actor, director, writer, editor, producer, one of my best friends right now, he's just doing it all, and he's doing it all out of passion, and he's done a great job, as you guys saw tonight. So, one more time.